Okay, here we have a Zenith 5D811. I did do a little bit of polishing on the knobs, that's all I did. Haven't taken this apart yet. This here is a little bit crooked. It's in good shape, but the handle itself is bent. Don't know if there's any fixing that. This will need to be removed to be polished. Dials there. This is a little bit worn out. You can see there's a dial light that lights up behind here. When you turn it on, it's got the AM band only. This here, I don't know if that can be polished or cleaned or something, I'm not sure. So let's open it up and see. I have not opened this yet. It does have a new cord on it, so maybe it works. Well, taking it apart, this came apart. It looks like, I bet it had a piece of, that doesn't look quite right. Oh, I see what happened. Huh. Someone was clever repair attempt. They glued that back together and then put that in there. Whatever. That doesn't look that bad. It's kind of clever. So, anyway, chassis is out. It's got nice markings on it. That's good. Here's this one full-size octal tube, and the rest are the awful miniature tubes that like to get pins corroded. Come on, focus. Yeah, they're a little corroded. So those will have to be cleaned. Look underneath. In really good shape. All original capacitors. That's one of those can type ones. I hate those. Really hate them. What a pain. So that'll be an adventure. The rest of them, however, I'll just change those out easily. The person replacing the cord did not skip power cord installation 101, and it looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave that. I hate white cords, but that's fine. Yeah, so not as bad as it could have been, definitely. This is not going to be a spectacular performer, but it should play okay. Speaker's a little loose. I can tighten these up a little bit. That's not a big deal. First thing is fixing that. Let's do that first. So I super glued that. No one will notice. This dial cover. So this is that was factory, but not all faded. So the question is, what do I do? If anything, do I just leave it? I don't know. So that looks easy to come out. You just 2 screws and you're out. That, I hate those clips. I might just leave it. I don't even care. The front is not that bad. Yeah. Biggest thing, I'll just, get this working properly. I wonder if it works still. It's a Zenith. Wouldn't surprise me. Probably does. What do you think the chances are that this still works? Better than 50%? I'm thinking there's a 50% chance that that is completely shot. And if it is, it's going to hum. If that's not, then it'll work. That's what I'm thinking. So the question is, I love how my projects are piling up over here. Anyway, question is, will this work as it is? Completely factory stock from 1949. Like I said, I think it's a 50% chance. The only thing that concerns me a little bit here is a line bypass. Anyway, that needs to be replaced before I even attempt to power this up, because if that is shorted, I'm going to put full line voltage on the chassis, and if it is open, well, I mean, actually that won't matter, but if it's shorted, that will matter. So I think, to be safe, I should probably replace that. It's this Bumblebee here, which are known to be incredibly reliable. So reliable that they like to explode randomly. So yeah, I'm going to change that. I'm going to put it's actually, I thought it was a line bypass, but it actually goes across the line to filter out noise. So I'm going to go ahead, again, if that's shorted, it will explode. So I'm not going to change anything else. I'm only going to change that. I'll put a 0.01 safety cap in there. Okay, I went ahead and I put the safety cap in there. That should be all right. And then we're going to do the experiment. We're going to power it up. We're going to see what happens, see if it plays or see if it hums. Okay, so we've got the dim bulb connected with a light bulb. And I've got it on the Variac. Remember, I only changed that one cross-line capacitor, and the only reason I changed it was because I didn't want the other one to suddenly short and have a little bit of a fireworks a few days early here. It's just about to be the 1st of July, and you know, I want to wait till the 4th for my fireworks. So anyway, let's do it. See what happens. Go to 20 volts. So do you think this is going to work, or do you think this is going to hum? Either way, we're fixing it, but just out of fun, just for the fun of it. I mean, because I don't have any time for anything, and yet I'm messing around with this thing. Do 30 volts. Yeah, the light bulb's lighting up. Okay. We're 50 now. Go to 55. Let's see. Tubes are lighting up. Okay. Line should be. Should be hearing something soon.
Where's your response, J. Jacob? Yeah, look.
Remember what I said about this being
The
a
response
Zenith?
has not been urgent and fast enough. We've known about this outbreak.
No hum at all.
Action in the early weeks of June. The administration
So,
is now finally.
okay. So I guess that was our answer. It works fine. So we're done, right? No, in order to make this safe and reliable, you've still got to go through and change all the capacitors. You know, it's just not, I mean, this can here, this will eventually go bad, especially if it's played regularly. Those paper capacitors will all short. I definitely don't want that to happen. These tube sockets need to be cleaned. They get intermittent, and then you got to wiggle the tube around to get it to connect properly. You know, this has got to be oiled. So there's a certain set of steps you have to do to make these safe and reliable. And once it is, then you can use it. But right now, we've established that at the end of this process, the radio will work, because it's somewhat working now. In fact, it'll probably work better than what it is doing now, which wasn't bad. A little distorted, but not too bad. I think changing those caps will solve any distortion issues. So might as well start. Now, one thing I just want to point out here, these can capacitors, usually you can mount the capacitor somewhere else, because this is not, you know, this is, there's three ways to do this. You can either, the long way, take this can off, that means desoldering everything, remove the can, cut it open, restuff it, put it back together, and resolder everything. That's the way you want to do it if the radio is incredibly valuable and you really want to preserve the under chassis experience. This radio is literally probably a $20 radio. So because of that, and because my goal is to make it work, not to make it perfectly beautiful and wonderful, although I'm doing a nice job, I'm not, you know, this is not like I'm, you know, doing this just to get it done. There's two other ways to do it. I can either anchor the capacitor down here and connect the points to a very short lead, and that way it's minimal floppiness. It's another way. Or I can put a terminal strip. I'm sorry, I lied. There's four ways. Put a terminal strip. Now, where could I put a terminal strip? Well, not a lot of space, but there is this connector here for the speaker. So I could put one over there, and I could mount the capacitors there. The other thing I could do is connect the capacitors to another point in the radio. Now, sometimes this is a problem because some of these radios actually, they're sensitive in terms of where things are and, you know, picking up interference and picking up hum. Now, this, I could easily connect another capacitor right over here. This is a B+ line. So from here to negative, remember, not ground, not chassis ground, but negative. Negative is right here. Or here, in fact. So I could just take a capacitor, go from here to here. That's the easiest way to do it. So that one I can do. The other one's a little more difficult. In fact, I don't know if there's another place to actually put that other capacitor. So I may be stuck doing a mount here and so on. I'll come back to that. So that may be an issue. Okay, I'm going to have to do something I don't like to do. This uses an 80 and a 20. I have a 100 and a 33. The values don't matter. It could be, I could put a 200 in here. It wouldn't matter. I just can't put under an 80. I could probably put a 68. You might get a little bit of a hum, but it would work. But I'm going to put the 100 because I have it and it's fine. And the 33 is plenty for this. I don't have a 20 at all. I have a, maybe I do. Yeah, I have a 20 at 500, which is overkill. I'm not going to use that in this. Okay, so the problem that I'm having here is there's just no place to put the second capacitor. I might have to do what I hate to do. I'm definitely not restuffing this can. This is not a good use of my time. What I don't like is the fact that this resistor right over here is connected between the two terminals. And if I were to remove it, I'd basically have it flop around, and I don't really like that idea. Let me think about this. Okay, this looks terrible. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I wasn't going to restuff the can, and there's nowhere to put a terminal strip. I tried over here, and it's just so far out of the way, nothing will reach. So anyway, this is reasonably secure. It's not really going to move around. I know it looks terrible. Nothing's touching. You know, it's not going to go anywhere. This is tight. So it's okay. It's not going to be a problem. that resistor also, the nice thing about this was down the corner. Now this has a little more space to kind of dissipate heat. So we got the 2 capacitors changed there. We got this one changed, that one changed. I got that changed. That, what does it do? Goes to the audio tube. Then you've got these 2 here, and then we're done. Went ahead and changed all the capacitors. Cleaned the volume control. I know that looks terrible. I'm sorry. It's the best I could do. Yeah, but this is not going anywhere. I mean, it's no more loose than these other parts in here, so it should be fine. I just hate the way it looks, but no one's going to see it, so it's okay. Next, we'll clean the tube sockets. Okay, there's lots of ways to clean tube sockets, but the way I do it, I go ahead and I spray the tubes, and then I plug it in, and I try to do one-handed here. Unplug it, and plug it in again, and unplug it, and plug it, and so on. That cleans the sockets without getting too much in these little paper wafers. These are, Zenith, for all the good quality items they had, they liked to use cheap tube sockets. And they like to use cheap tube sockets from when they started making radios until they made really good radios. And this is one of their better ones, definitely. But, yeah, come on. I really hate these tubes. These miniature tubes are such a pain. They're just difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll come back. Okay, we are going to go ahead and power it up with these changed capacitors. See what happens.
Its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information. Banned from carrying guns into many places.
Like if you listen, it we're gonna work. You will say, "Give you Tyler Hero."
Yeah, well, that ain't happening.
And so who knows what this is? Like maybe this is Jalen.
We're at 80 volts.
Maybe still.
This thing is picking up everything.
Irregular flows.
Wow. I don't even know if I'm going to bother aligning it. I think it's perfect.
All sorts. There are more people on the move around the world. 100
Unbelievable.
million forcibly displaced in one way or another from their homes. More than at any time since we've actually reported these facts and this information. And it is happening across the world. And we're following through on a number of things that we've agreed to. Announcing investment plan.
Well, and they can't. Right. And then there's also a
vibrating.
walkway number apparently for Dallas from everything I'm hearing.
Okay. Speaker is vibrating just a little. I think what we've got here is a loose speaker. Either that or sometimes the cone is loose. No cone. Don't tell me. Don't tell me it's rubbing speaker. Damn it. Yeah, it's no fun. Sometimes, if it's not too bad, if it's just some dirt, it'll rub itself out and just kind of be working. I'm going to tighten this anyway. It seems to be a little loose. Okay. Honestly, this is playing so well that, and it's so clean. I mean, this is like a brand new radio almost. I mean, maybe it doesn't have the shine that it once did, but it is really clean. So it is working. It's playing well. I didn't touch the alignment. It's very good. The alignment is almost perfect. So I'm not going to mess that up. So yeah, basically just I'm going to clean the tubes off, just get some of the dust off, and then Put it back in the case. I think the speaker is, it's not perfect. There was a couple little rips. I might fix those, and then, I'm thinking if I play it for a few hours, it might kind of clean itself up. I have a feeling it's probably just dirt in the voice coil. Seems to be a decent playing radio. It sounds really good. I know Zenith used a decent output transformer. I think about the schematic in front of me, I did take a quick look at it, but this is very simple, so I didn't really spend a lot of time on it. But I believe they used like a, slightly off-center tapped transformer to both eliminate hum and to provide a little bit of bass response. So I think that's what they did here. I mean, it's a 5-tube radio. It's just very simple, but it seems to perform better than most 5-tube radios. I would say it's, pretty close to that Westinghouse, which I posted last week. That was a 6-tube radio, and I was pretty impressed with the performance there. This is a 5-tube set, and it's almost as good.
It means a higher toll. It has to measure out according to legislation.
Here's the Zenith put back together. This came out very nice. That's my timer. The light is really nice.
WCDS News Radio 880.
So let's go all the way to the end here. We'll just scan the band.
These people he was referring.
Look out! His eyes are wandering.
Now back to the stress ball thing.
Here at night.
11 years ago, 15 and 11 years ago.
So we're going to get some distant stations.
Do you think that they will get the support?
Here's a little bit more of his message.
Dedicated, continuous.
That's interference
Wednesday's time tonight.
Congral pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains.
$45.99.
Batters coming out. It makes Mr. Moore, Wes Moore, do you support that?
3 hits in the game, close to 1.
You're in regenerative.
Figure out how much is too much when focusing on.
And Splinter.
This happens.
These are great. Each will customize his card.
hard to get anything up here.
Colbert calls today at 634-1234.
The Buffalo Dental Group on Main Street in Williamsville and at the corner of Englewood and Kenmore in North Buffalo. The Buffalo Dental Group.
That's the
Buffalo, New York. That's, I don't know, 600 miles away. Oh, that's a great song, but other than that, it's a country station from about, I don't know, a 9-hour drive away. Let's put it on Boston.
I find that cowardice. You know, part of...
And on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach.
I mean, it's a Zenith, so it's going to get pretty much everything. And it's called the Tournament. So, whatever that means for this, but it's definitely the performance is good. I mean, it is at night, so it's going to be a little better than normal, but I mean, you know, it's not even a really clear night. It just rained a little bit, and it's still picking up things. So this is a pretty nice radio for performance-wise. No RF stage, nothing special. You know,
And means no more gutter cleaning for me. Bingo! Plus, Leaf Filter has an industry-leading
nice
lifetime
sound.
warranty. So your gutters are covered for life.
no hum, of course. I mean, I changed the filters. So I don't know. I mean, you know, it's a decent set. I believe this is from 1950. I did see a marking in it. That's one of the date codes on the tubes was 1950, and it has all original tubes except for one. So I think low hours. Low hours helps. Can't really tell that the dial pointer's been repaired. I think it looks pretty good for, you know, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. And this is certainly acceptable.
Prices. Love what you find.
So,
At Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly.
Nice inexpensive radio. I wish I could do something about this. I mean, all it needs to do is just straighten out, and then it would be perfect. There's a little bit of a nick in the Bakelite here. Come on, focus. Stupid. A little nick in there that I can't really do anything about. Maybe just I could touch that up with a marker or something. But in general, you know, nice looking set. I did clean up the Bakelite, but it's about as good as it's going to get. It looks perfectly fine.
Come to Windorama. We keep a
Speaker I fixed. Just had to patch a couple things, and it actually sounds fine. So that's good news. So glad this was a really quick repair. It only took me a couple hours to get it all back together.